Well, hello everybody. My name is Naomi Huat. For today's video, what are we going to be looking about is about what pie chart are. And so for this video, we're not only focusing on the way to draw out pie charts, but also different kinds of parts, like how to use protractors or different ways of data visualizations that we could also use in handling data. Alright, so first let's talk through our first thing, which is the three key steps that we always need to finish well so that we could get well with our pie chart. So this is a really crucial thing and that we should need to focus on before we move on with anything else. So first, let's look at angles. So angle is basically the most important thing. It relates to our slices in our pie chart. It's really important. So our formula to calculate out different kinds of these different kinds of slices would be the percentage times 360. So here on the percentage, you would change it from the percentage to the decimal number. So, and then you multiply it with 360, which is the whole angle of the whole circle. So that is going to result out into the angles that's going to take to draw that slice into your pie chart. So now look at this thing. Let's get a real example so we could actually understand. So imagine, let's say we have 25% of people who likes Alright, so that is our percentage, which is 25%. So we are going to be conveying 25% into 0.25. So this is the decimal form of 25%. And then we take 0.25 times 360 and it equals to 90. But what does 90 here means? 90 here is the amount of angle that's going to take for you to draw into your pie chart. So this is a really important part because you can't just simply draw different kinds of slices out without accuracy. So this formula is really important so that you could ensure that your slices are correct, accurate, and it will be efficiency for your work. Next, we have is ratios. So ratios also is related to those slices. So let's say in our data, we have 5 characteristics. And so we have one thing that we're now focusing on. So the ratio is going to be 1 to 5. And so we're going to transform this ratio into a fraction, which is 1/5. So what does this 1/5 have? This is going to help you to calculate out the total angle, the total percentage of a slice. So imagine in this situation, 1/5 is equals to 0.2, right? And 0.2 is equal to 20%. So 20% here, it means that there's 5 slices and each slices is 20 degrees on our pie chart. Next, on to percentage. Percentage is the most crucial thing in a pie chart that you always need to consider first. So let's say you just have the raw data. You can't just simply put all of them into your pie chart, but you need to convey them out into percentage so that you could actually put it into different ways of situations like in ratios or into calculating your angle. So look, in ratios you do need to know the percentage, right? In angles you do need to know the percentage to calculate the angles. So percentage is one really important thing that I believe all different kinds of people who is facing with pie charts will need to handle first. So it is our problem. So now let's look at how do we use our protractor. So here is my protractor. It is basically a shape like this, it is a shape of half a circle, and on the bottom here it shows out the full 180 degrees, which is the degrees of half a circle. And so you could always see that up on here you would put. Now let's look at how do we put this protractor and how to actually handle it out. So now let's say let's say that the top A shows that A has the total percentage of, let's say, 25. So 25 percentage is our focus here. So now what are we going to be doing with this is that we're going to convey it into an angle. So based on the formula that I've given you guys earlier, so now we're going to convey 25 into decimal, which is 0.25. And 0.25 times 360, which is the degree of the whole circle, of the whole pie. And we are going to have a result of 90. And so 90 here, what does 90 mean? 90 means the angle of this shape. So now what does this angle help us into drawing it out? So now let's look at the protractor. You should put it in the right place so that you could know how to actually use it. So on the protractor here, you can see is the 0 point. And so this point is going to be straight at the middle of your circle. I don't know if you can see it, but here it is right here. And so you put the 0 straight at that point. And so here is going to be the middle of your shape. And so now you're going to be able to calculate it. So see, you put it on the line here, not outside here, not outside the ruler. And now then, you have 90 degrees. So you're going to look from here, from 0, you mark one point out here. And so let's look straight to 90 degrees, right? Or you want to draw out a point like this. And now then, when you've successfully marked out the angle, you're going to look at it and say, oh, well, all right, this is a point. And now we are going to connect these. So how? We are going to connect it. So let's say from the point that we marked earlier up on here you can see, right? We're going to draw it straight to our middle of the circle that we've visualized earlier. And upon the other way, we also draw it like that. And so here is our shape. It is done smoothly and easily, I bet. And so I think if everybody has a protractor, probably they know how to draw this. I'm sorry because like my pen is not having the ink running really smoothly, so I'm sorry. But here is our point, and you could basically see that it's right of 25%. So that is it. That is how do you use a protractor. So there's basically just three common steps. First is to calculate the angle of the trajectory that you're going to have so that you could draw on the slice. Next is to align the ruler in the correct place, mark down the angle, and then draw them, and then connect those points to complete. So that's basically how do you use a protractor. Pretty easy, right? So now, let's look at different other ways of data visualizations that you should have to understand so that you could finish with data handling. So here, first is frequency tables, which is a really common thing, which shows out how frequent does something happens or how frequent does something occurs. So that's basically frequency tables. Polymers is another way of presenting our ideas, but it's usually used in like small numbers. Like when you're playing sport, you sometimes do see these polymers, right? So it's going to be percentage, just like its name. So it's going to be presented in different kinds of lines like this. I'm sorry, my pen is running out of ink. I'm sorry. So here we have 4 lines, and we're not just continuing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. When we reach 5, we're going to draw a line across it like this, so that we could easily count that, oh, this group here is 5. So this is how you use solid marks. And lastly is on graphs. So graphs, I've drawn them out a lot of time before. So basically you draw something. Just look at this like an example, right? So here you could have the line here. And now up on here you could have the data. Here is the numbers. And here is the characteristics that you're going to spend on. And on bar graph, it's going to be draw into different kinds of bar, into different kinds of rectangles. But on line chart, it's going to be draws in different kinds of lines. So this is different kinds. So there's a lot of ways for you to actually apply data visualizations into handling data. So thank you so much for listening to my video for today's, which is about pie charts and also some other ways to handle data. Thank you so much. Goodbye.